Hey everybody, before we get started, I just wanted to say, if you enjoy our content and want to stay up to date with our videos, hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel. Thanks. So, on to the video.
7.1 Crossroads opens with you enjoying your time in Gulool with some tacos. Nearby, you hear two men talking to each other. It is clear it is a father and his son. After the events of Dawntrail, the two have reunited and are attempting to reconnect. The conversation's awkward and stilted. As the father explains, his son was only 5 years old when he went off to Yasulani with his mother. But now 30 years have passed for his son, and he is a man grown. But the moment he saw him, he knew he was his son, and vows to support him no matter what. The son is thankful as he feels useless. The people in the dome never learned how to do basic things like make a fire due to their advanced technology. So he struggles at work and to adapt at Gulool in life. Gulool Ja then arrives, overhearing the man's plight. She lets him know she knows of their struggles, and a support group has been established for people like himself to learn skills to live outside the dome. She understands adjusting is hard and hopes she can relieve some of their struggles. The father and son are happy to hear the news and take up Gulool Ja's offer. She then notices you enjoying your meal and decides to join herself. The two of you take time to catch up a bit before she mentions she and Koana have been meaning to talk to you. You head to the palace where the twins, Grahatia and Cryle are waiting as well. Koana informs you it's a matter pertaining to Alexandria. A state funeral is going to be held in Solution 9 to mourn the passing of Queen Sphene. King Gulool Ja and his administration have invited your party to attend. Grahatia is surprised that the Alexandrians still have funeral rites, as they've lived without the awareness of death for generations now. Koana explains that the Oblivion members unearthed records of ceremonies that were conducted in Alexandria of old. They were the ones who suggested the idea to honor the late queen. Gulool Ja believes that Oblivion wishes to do something for the people of Alexandria, as they are all being confronted with the idea of death for the first time. The people of Alexandria truly loved their queen, and there is no doubt their sorrow runs deep. Koana hopes that this funeral will help them process their grief together. Gulool Ja was unsure about attending, but decides to go to support Gulool Ja and see the end to this chapter. She asks you to come along and stand by her as well. Cryle believes that everyone in the party should go, feeling responsible for depriving Alexandria of their queen and to honor who she was. The party then heads to Solution 9 to meet with Gulool Ja and Shale. Gulool Ja is happy to see his aunt and her companions join for the funeral. He explains he's never been to a funeral before and was feeling nervous, but less so now that everyone's here. You all quickly catch up, then head to the funeral site to meet with Sphene's former chief, Aide Gossin. Gulool Ja thanks him for extending them an invitation to the funeral. Gulool Ja asks him where he can get a flower. Cryle believes that because the world used to be one, the tradition of honoring the dead with flowers may have some connection to ancient origins, as it seems to be a reoccurring rite across the shards so far. Gossin explains to his king where he can obtain a flower and a black regulator if they wish. He explains it is not a requirement to wear, but Alexandrians in the past used to wear tokens of mourning when attending funerals. Those tokens were black. It was then suggested that the people might wear regulators painted the same color. Regulator or no, he asks that you all remember Queen Sphene and her kindness as you offer your flower. He then asks you all to take your place and heads to the podium to begin the funeral.
Although we are gathered here for the same reason, we hail from different lands. Some were born and raised in the Alexandria of old, while others came to us from Gulool Ja. It was from this union of diverse peoples that a new Alexandria was born. The only home that our younger generation knows. How did we overcome the barriers between us? What moved us to join hands in common purpose beneath crackling skies? You know the answer. We survived. We thrived because Queen Sphene brought us together. Inspired and encouraged by her boundless kindness, we strove to be better, for ourselves as well as those around us. And in Her Majesty's absence, there is a sadness beyond words. Yet we will remember her. Remember all the good that she has done for us. So let us pray, as the people of the Old Kingdom once did, for the peaceful repose of the departed. And let us keep our beloved Queen forever in our hearts, that her memory might guide us unto the morrow. Would that I could find solace in my own words.
One by one, the people of Alexandria head to the altar to offer their flower. After Gulool Ja and Gulool Ja offer theirs, they head back, overhearing a mother trying to console her son. He is confused by the prospect of death and loss. The boy feels abandoned and fears everyone will grieve forever. Behind them, a couple discusses the uncertainty of the future in Alexandria and think they should travel to Tuliolal. Gulool Ja attempts to console the confused child as well, reciting the beliefs of the Yakui, asking the boy to remember her and she will always be with him. The boy counters her suggestion, claiming that he will still never be able to see Queen Sphene again and that he would rather not think about it, wishing to forget rather than feeling this way. Gulool Ja is saddened by his response and apologizes for imposing. She walks back to the party with a sigh, unsurprised by their struggle to come to terms with their loss. Cryo adds that it's not only the loss of their queen that plagues them, but their worries for the future without her, seeing no clear path forward. Gulool Ja notices Gulool Ja silent, lost in thought. He wonders if it's better to remember someone or forget them when they're dead. And he uses the way he feels about Queen Sphene and his father as an example, compared to how he feels about his mother, explaining he never knew his mother, so he doesn't feel anything, concluding that he wishes to remember his father, but maybe he's better off forgetting him. Gulool Ja is surprised by her nephew's thoughts and asks him if he truly never knew his mother. He explains that Shale searched the system for information, but the only Gulool Ja found were he and his father. Even if she died and was erased from people's memories, she should have been there. You all offer to help Gulool Ja search for more information about his mother. He accepts, saying he wishes to know more about her, even if it's painful. After asking around and gathering information in Yasulani, you and your party piece together some of the puzzle. Prior to the dome falling, Zoral Ja led a group of Landsguard to deal with the Tural Vidral. Among the Landsguard was a female Gulool Ja. They believed these Landsguard were trapped in the dome after defeating the Vidral while they were helping with the recovery efforts. There was also information about a nearby village Zoral Ja visited often, until about 10 years ago. Alphino believes this village was composed of his Landsguard to uphold secrecy, believing that the female Gulool Ja, if she remained there, would have some point come into contact with Zoral Ja. Cryo also learned that there may be a secret research facility in the area, rumors of a new weapon being researched. Using what information they have, Sheo is able to find the location of the Yue Yawada field station. Inside the abandoned station, you find the remnants of Zoral Ja's experiments. This is where Alexandria tested fusing beast souls into humanoid hosts, testing the limits of this fusion on living subjects. At the end of the path, you find a large swirling vortex of elemental earth. Inside is an imprisoned Tural Vidral. Zoral Ja's main goal was to infuse someone with the soul of a Tural Vidral, but all tests failed as the humanoid host bodies were too weak to hold such a power. So instead, plans to infuse the Tural Vidral with the soul of an individual were planned, attacking the issue from reverse. After defeating the Vidral, you get an echo from the past, confirming what you read in the reports. In this echo, you see a vision of Zoral Ja talking over their plans with the head researcher, giving him permission to gather volunteers for the project. After their conversation is over, a female Gulool Ja walks up from behind. Her name is Tashiel Ja, and Gulool Ja commands her to help with the research as the Landsguard's finest chirurgeon. She agrees to help, but asks him for a boon once the project bears fruit. He asks what she desires, and she vaguely says it is something close, something she could never have in Tuliolal, that which she foolishly covets. The two part ways and the vision ends. You inform the party about what you saw. Gulool believes that Gulool Ja may indeed be Gulool Ja's mother, as Gulool Ja women are very rare in Yasulani. Your party then heads to the station's observatory. Using what he learned from Shale, Gulool Ja accesses the station's main terminal and extracts data pertaining to Gulool Ja. You then head back to Solution 9 to hand Shale the data to analyze and decrypt. While the data is being analyzed, your party heads to Shaloni to check on the state of the railroad. After the Queen's death and the shutting down of Everkeep's systems, many younger Tuliolalans who were trapped in the dome are making the trip back to the capital to reconnect with loved ones before their time passes. Sadly, the older generation are not able to make such a dangerous trip. The Dawn servants know of this, and plans were made to restore the railroad leading to Yasulani. When you arrive at the station, you bump into Koana and Aaronville, who are also checking in on the status of the train. When asked for an update on the train, things are going according to plan, except for one thing. Prior to the assault on the Vanguard, the Hetsuro tribe had growing concerns with the train scaring off the wild Roanoke. These animals are the foundation of their culture, and they rely on them for survival. Koana devised a way to quiet down the train as it travels, but now the concern is how to make the local wildlife not wander onto the tracks. Gulool brings up that the train's pathways should be avoiding the wildlife grazing areas, but lately, the Roanoke have been getting closer and closer. Aaronville and Koana intend to visit the Hetsuro people and gather more information on what's going on and how to resolve this issue. After meeting with their leaders, you find out that they too notice the strange grazing patterns of the beasts, getting further and further away from their favored locations and heading towards the railway. From the reports, their favored lands should still be fine for grazing, but if the beasts keep moving west, the Hetsuro must follow. Koana understands and relates, revealing to the chief a bit of his past. Koana is of Hetsuro descent, but he was abandoned as a babe during a sudden migration like this one, believing to be a necessitated sacrifice of the nomadic lifestyle. The chief finds it odd, as he's never heard of Roanoke choosing such a dangerous path that it would force such a choice. Koana never confirmed his theory, as he had no interest in making excuses for his parents' actions. You encourage the Vow to learn more about his people and the Roanoke. He agrees, as he does not want to repeat past mistakes like he did during the rite. While you learn more, Aaronville and Gulool head to the grazing grounds to find clues on what's happening. After spending some time with the locals and their Roanoke, Koana comes to understand his origins and gains more insight on the choice his family had to make. Gulool and Aaronville return with their findings. After going over the information at hand, they deemed a large predator or beast has taken residence in the area and is causing a disruption. The Hetsuro believe it's something called a Roanoke Reaver in the common tongue. Usually Roanoke can fend off most predators, but due to the Reaver's adamant scales, they are incapable of defending themselves. The party then begins to make preparations to drive this Reaver away. While preparing, a villager arrives yelling for help. He saw the Reaver and it's headed towards the village. Your party takes the lead and heads in the beast's direction, calming and leading any Roanoke on the way to safety. Having gained respect and love for the Hetso, Koana puts his all into defeating the Reaver. After the battle, Koana notices how conductive the Reaver's scales are and believes he can make a device that pulses ether resembling the Roanoke's natural predator, warding them away from crossing the railroad. One of the Hetsuro traders takes a look at the beast, recounting the last time he saw one of its like 20 years ago. The tribe he was trading with was wiped out in an instant by a Reaver. It's revealed this took place in the same area Koana was found abandoned. Koana asks the trader to recount more of what he saw that night. While escaping the night, the trader noticed a young couple trying to fend off the beast, asking the others to save their son and the Roanoke. Sometime later, he heard that the tribe was able to regroup, but many were never seen again, including the young couple. The child was not with the group of survivors, believing the wilderness took him. Koana finds closure in the story, realizing he was never truly abandoned, but protected by his parents for as long as they could. He lets go of all the resentment he's held all these years, and Koana thanks his parents for the chance he was given, and vows to protect Tuliolal in the same way. Afterwards, everyone heads back to the train yard to test the railroad with the new etheric whistle designed to ward off the Ronek. Now that the railroad is on track to being finished, the party heads back to Solution 9 to see what Sheo's found. Istola arrives as well, informing everyone that she's seen enough of the gate in the Sky Deep cenote and wishes now to investigate living memory itself. She's come to ask the aid of Sheo, as she's an expert on electro. When she's done there, her next project is to investigate the key in your possession. Sheo agrees to join her, then plays Tashio Ja's recordings for Gulool Ja.
My name is Tashio Ja, and I decided to record this to help me put my thoughts in order, I suppose.
Mother?
Officially I was a Virgin with the Lance Guard. I was part of a contingent dispatched to Yasulani to hunt a Tural Vidral that was wreaking havoc. After our mission was complete, I elected to remain. It was the perfect opportunity to document the geographic distribution of medicinal herbs in this region. Or so I said when requesting special dispensation. In truth, I could not bear to return to Tuliolal. I had hoped to aid Commander Gulool Ja in the right of succession, but he did not so much as look my way. I was never in contention, of course, one of the nameless many in his army. To go back and face that reality was too much for me, so I ran, and in my cowardice, I stumbled upon this path, a path that changed my life. When the dome appeared, I found myself trapped within, and reunited with my commander. How am I to speak of Commander Gulool Ja? I admired him. His incontestable strength, his unwavering focus. He was a man of great passions. I watched him, captivated by his intensity. From afar, I would not dare approach. And in watching, I came to know him. His eyes too sought the distance, but not as mine did. He yearned not for another, but something else, beyond the horizon. That gaze would never fall upon me. I knew. The experiment will soon proceed to its next phase, and when it does, as he promised, I will have my heart's desire. Today. It should have been today. A new beginning. What I have dreamed of for so long. I hold a future in my arms. If he could see him, embrace him, surely that would be enough. So full of hope I was. A foolish hope.
Its scales are blue.
He's your son.
My... No, I can't. I don't know how. How could I? How? To raise a child, be a father. I don't. I can't. No! No! Get it away from me. Get that thing away from me!
It's all right, little one. Papa was just surprised. That's all. He'll come around. We'll be a happy family. Gulool shouting for me. The research hasn't been going well. But I can't let him take it out on my baby. Hush now, little one. I know just where to hide you.
Shale informs Gulool Ja some manner of accident happened at the lab after the last recording. This is most likely why his mother was not able to return to him. Gulool Ja empathizes with his lost mother and father, realizing how lonely his parents were. If they were all together, maybe things would have been better. But sadly, that is not how things worked out. Gulool Ja doesn't know if he's happier or not with this information, but he is mature enough to understand it is better to know than not. Gulool kneels down and hugs her nephew. Y'shtola respects how wise Gulool Ja is and commends Shale for guiding the young king so far. Gulool Ja thanks Shale as well. Now that she is free, Shale heads to living memory along with Y'shtola. Afterwards, you're informed that there's been a sudden shift in mood in the people. They're no longer taking up the offer to leave for Tuliyollal. Gulool finds it odd and wishes to speak to the people and find out their concern. When you arrive, the people are sharing the tale of a random death out in the wilds. The people are beginning to panic that death could come for them at any moment, as they realize, due to the wiping of memory, it's very possible that most people died violent deaths rather than of old age, and they would have no idea. Gulool sighs at the sight, seeing matters are only getting worse as the people struggle to adjust to their new life. Before Gulool can talk to them, a phantom arrives.
The grown-ups are really upset and I don't know what to do. I see that you are as kind-hearted as ever, Nico. Never fear. I'm here to set things aright.
I don't understand. Sphene is gone. Forever. You there, Gusson. You were the Queen's aide, weren't you? What's the meaning of this?
Begging your pardon, Vow of Resolve. But Her Majesty Queen Sphene is paying visit to her people, as is her wont.
What are you talking about? Sphene is dead. You officiated the funeral yourself. We all placed flowers to mourn her passing.
A funeral? For Her Majesty? What a curious jest. You know full well that ceremony was to commemorate those lives lost during the attack of Alexandria. Her Majesty walks among her people that she might support them in this most trying of times. Surely that is not cause for consternation.
Your Majesty, won't you free us from these terrible memories of the departed? This is no way to live. Not for us, nor our children. I wish that I could. Truly I do. But with living memories shut down, even I cannot restore the system that once afforded us that comfort. You needn't fret, however. I have prepared an alternate solution. All of us shall be made endless. I have created a new system that allows you to transplant your memories directly into an ethereal vessel. One not reliant upon soul cells. This way, you need never again fear death. You may live as you please, and for as long as you like. Our stores of ether are, at present, not sufficient to provide this boon to everyone. But some of you received neo-regulators for the funeral ceremony, did you not? And there are still more we have yet to distribute. 5,000 in all. One day soon, those with neo-regulators will be called to join the Endless, and thence be free of suffering forevermore.
But only 5,000 of us?
You Victral! The real Sphene would never be content to save only some of her people. Who are you?
I am Sphene, the Queen of Reason.
Wuklamot calms herself and retreats back to the Oblivion headquarters. You take one last look at the undead queen, then follow. The queen notices your departing and smiles. Back at the headquarters, it is summarized that the regulators are wiping memories of the queen's funeral and news of her passing. The plan is to lay low and gather information on the false queen, or wait to see what she does next. Meanwhile, we cut to living memory.
Where am I? My people? Are they safe? Why am I